Okay, if you're interested in getting a visa to stay in France as a visitor and or future citizenship, watch this video. It's going to be a little longer, just telling you right up front. But this is a deep dive video, okay? And this is following up on a previous video that we did that talked about the fact that we got on the wrong visa type. We didn't know. You can watch that video if you want, but we have now learned everything we need to learn to figure this out, and I'm sharing it with you guys because I promised I'd follow up. So buckle up. Here we go. This is a follow-up to the whole conversation about the visa we're on, the type, getting that problem fixed, getting to a new visa, etc. So I'm giving you guys secondhand information from a 1-hour consultation. I just got off the phone with the attorney's office and the associate there. And so I'm going to give you everything I have. This is your mileage may vary. You need to do your own research. Don't take this as gospel advice. I'm giving you back my understanding of a conversation I just had literally 2 minutes ago. And I'm making this TikTok so that I can hopefully benefit some people to at least understand, because there's been a lot of misinformation, even in the comments of my video originally. A lot of people saying things that are just absolutely whack, not true. There's some things we thought that weren't true, etc. So anyway, I'm going to try to clear up whatever I can. For people that haven't gotten the visa yet, if you're out there and you're like, we want to do it, we don't want to make the mistake, get the VLSTS. The people that have been saying that it's way harder, you probably won't get it or whatever, not true. There's a 98% approval rate in general with the consulate for that type of visa, and it's 100% if you work with Daniel's office, Daniel Tostada's office, and I'm not getting paid to say that. And by the way, let's talk about that visa. The VLST is only if you're only going to be for up to a year in France. You're sure you don't want to renew. You just want to go for, like, it's your year off, it's your whatever, your gap year of your life, and you're never going to stay. That's when you want the VLST, because you won't have to present yourself to the prefecture, blah, blah, blah. It's really easy. They don't even pay attention to anything you're doing, like tax-wise. You're not allowed to work, blah, blah, blah. That's what you want. If you don't want that and you want to be able to do remote telework back in the United States with a U.S. company, and I didn't know that until today, you can do that on the VLSTS, as we've been told, so that's the visa we wish we had the whole time, whatever. We're not going to relitigate that. We already talked about it. So let's talk about switching. We were like, oh, how's this going to work logistically and all that? And this guy was so awesome. He told us, he said, what you can do is you can have overlapping visas. So you can go back now. You're going to have to go back to the US. But he said, while you're here, you can go back to the US and start the paperwork online for VFS Global, by the way, does do all the processing for France. So you're going through them no matter what. I thought it was like one of many agencies. That's it. Everything goes through them. Even if those guys do it for you, they're going to work with VFS, but you're going to get a lot on top of it. But anyway, I digress. So back to VFS, set up your appointment in the consulate in the city of your choice. We're probably going to do Miami this time because my family lives in Florida. So we'll get the appointment. I can go and then apply for the VLSTS. It typically takes 8 to 10 days. If everything goes well and there aren't any hiccups and they don't need more information and there's more back and forth, okay, because that's going to make it longer. But generally speaking, it would be 8 to 10 days, but they recommend 2 weeks staying back, they being Daniel's office, because you never know what's going to go wrong. You should have a flexible ticket, though, because in case it doesn't go well and, you're overly optimistic and then you find out you can't get on your flight or whatever. So avoiding that. So our plan is going to be going back and having the appointment, and then hopefully getting that visa within 8 to 10 days, and then we'll be on the new visa. Each of us does it. So I'll go first, I'll get mine, then my wife and my daughter will go back and they will get theirs. The last part of this for us, and for a lot of people probably that are out there, is going to be in terms of getting your residency. So with this, the VLSTS visitor, we can then become we can get our carte de séjour. We will present ourselves to the prefecture, etc. We will get our residence card, and we will then start the clock ticking on this 5 years towards getting the 10-year. That's the next hurdle, is establishing the 5 years of residency. So essentially it's going to be an annual renewal of this TS visitor visa that we will then, after 5 years, we can apply, as we understand it, for the 10-year resident, which the way that he put it was like, there at that point, like, you're a good visitor, we're fine with you, and you can just kind of come and go as you please. You just have this 10-year ability to come or not come or whatever you want to do. That's essentially going to be our plan. The last part of this for citizenship, after the 5 years, you're going to have to work for a French company of your own or somebody else's in the French for have a French job for 18 months. You're going to have that in order to apply for citizenship. That's going to be part of the requirements for you doing that and for us doing that. So we now feel after all that we have a path, a vision for the future. We're going to go back to Florida. We're going to apply for the new visa status, which is going to be the the VLS TS visitor visa with VFS Global. We might work with Daniel's company to do it, but one way or the other, we're going to get that done. We're going to pray that it gets processed in 8 to 10 days, but we're going to have a flexible ticket coming home. Then when we come back, we will be on the new visa. At that point, that clock will start ticking. Oh, the other thing he said is that it would be, because we asked, what else should we be doing that we haven't asked about, or beneficial things, and he said, getting a French bank account as soon as possible. He acknowledged that they tend to be kind of negative towards foreigners opening bank accounts here, but he said it is possible. He told us some banks that were better about it. BNP was BNP Paribas was one. He's going to send us a list, so I'll share that later. But so essentially, that's important because what they want to see. I mentioned Revolut and that I have the a Revolut account. He's like the way they prepare their statements, the prefecture often will push back on it and be like, nah, they don't really like it. The format of it doesn't look French bank accounty enough, and at least as of right now. So that was kind of unfortunate to hear because I really like using Revolut. It's very convenient. But he also suggested to us that we be sending over at that point $2,000 a month, the minimum wage in France to demonstrate that this is all showing the money's flowing into a French bank account. You're here. That's the minimum wage, by the way. So €2,000 a month is being put in, and then the expenses that you're paying out are going from that account. This is all for your future establishment of what they want to see, that you've been in France, spending money in France, paying taxes, living in France, integrated into French society, all these things that later are going to be important for your future applications for things like 10 years and citizenship and et cetera, et cetera. So this is the advice we got. And so I'm just passing that on for what it's worth. You're going to have a million questions. I won't have answers because I'm not the attorney. I'm not the attorney's associate. And these guys are a fountain of knowledge. So if you want to pay €270 and you have more questions, I can't recommend them enough. It was such a great hour. I thought for sure I'd be like, oh, the time's going to end, and shit, I had 10 more questions, and it wasn't that at all. We actually had 5 minutes left at the end just to be like, wow, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And we had a lot of questions going in. Good luck.